In the silence, dreams will surface. The date is January 19th, 2017, and in my diary I wrote, "Up early we finished the drive into Ushuaia, the southern tip of Argentina. As we close in, the terrain grows hillier and greener with trees. The plains and meadows transform into lakes and lagoons crowned with snow-capped peaks. The long straight road curls into the hills and switchbacks over the mountain passes. And then, as if in a dream, we see it. Ushuaia, the city at the end of the world, al fin del mundo, as if in a dream." Lately, I've been having vivid dreams. I'm not talking about childhood dreams, but rather the subconscious dreams of our sleep. I know inherently that we are, of course, always dreaming, but often our lives are so chaotic we rarely remember them. Currently, I'm in a season where I have slowed my life down enough such that dreams are beginning to surface. That reminds me of Patagonia. In January of 2017, I spent 6 weeks exploring the southern parts of Chile and Argentina. There is no place quite like it on Earth. It is remote and raw, shaped by the massive glaciers containing the pure wrath and fury of Mother Nature. The jagged mountains pierce the clouds and scrape the azure skies. The landscape with its angled trees and barren fields speak of the incessant winds. The teal blue, milky glacial lakes captivate the eyes and the imagination. In his book, In Patagonia, Bruce Chatwin writes, "Patagonia, she is a hard mistress. She casts her spell, an enchantress. The wind stripping men to the raw, she folds you in her arms and never lets go." Truly, Patagonia stripped me to the raw. Though I can't quite say how, what I know is that for the first time on that trip, I was allowed a space to be still and quiet. And in the silence, dreams surfaced. I'm not just talking about an occasional dream, but rather multiple vivid dreams every single night. They started about 1 week in on the road. I suppose it took a week to stop worrying about daily life. Whether it was the constant assault of the wind that buffered the daily worries, or the stunning beauty of the landscape that calmed my anxieties, somehow I learned to be present. The dreams were so frequent and vivid that I started writing them down. I had dreams about being Emma Stone's Airbnb host, about living a James Bond life while driving my Mini Cooper. I was watching Blind Olympics with my colleagues. I was water skiing and being bitten by a snake. My mother remarried. Mind you, she's still happily married to my father of 50 years, and then moved into a beautiful glass home. I was in a mass shooting ordering coffee at Starbucks. And I was meeting with my counselor at my former pastor's church back in Virginia. As I read back through the dreams, I'm not sure they necessarily have to have deep meaning. But what is significant is that I was dreaming. It means that my conscious life had finally slowed enough, such that I gave room for the subconscious to surface. The subconscious is always present, but we are rarely aware of it. Dreams are a reminder that I am always accompanied by that which I do not know or acknowledge. In his book, Finding Meaning in the Second Half of Life, James Hollis writes, "But that which is unconscious has great power in our lives, may currently be making choices for us, and most certainly has been implicitly constructing the patterns of our personal history. As Shakespeare observed in the 12th Night, no prisons are more confining than those we know not we are in." In my late 20s, as I was coming out, I had a lot of accumulated shame about being gay. I had downloaded the message, "It's not okay to be gay," from various sources, whether church, or one-off comments from my family, or stereotypes in the media. I knew academically, of course, that I felt shame, but as Hollis writes, I was unaware of the ways in which shame was making choices for me and shaping my life. For instance, early in dating, shame unknowingly kept me at a distance from forming real connections. After experiencing any form of intimacy, shame would pull me away from my partner in seclusion, afraid of being seen. In talking with my counselor, I started to understand the ways shame was ever present in my life. The most powerful tool in dismantling shame was learning to see its presence. In other words, awareness. And never was it more present than in my dreams. My counselor often said, interpreting a single dream can accomplish 1,000 years of therapy. For me, as I came out, there were 2 recurring dreams. The dream of my mother disappointed yelling at me, and dreams of marrying a girl I knew from college, accompanied by the deepest sense of visceral regret in my stomach. As we talked through those dreams, I was able to recognize patterns and voices that weren't my own, and slowly the dreams diminished and disappeared. The point here is that dreams are the voice of the subconscious, which is far more knowledgeable and powerful than we dare to imagine. While I don't fully understand my dreams from that trip, I know that I was being transformed in that space. On the bus rides down the Chilean coast, I was afforded opportunities to reflect. On hikes to Mount Fitzroy, I was able to silence the egoic dialogue that thrives in my busy daily life. And in that silence, the subconscious shared its wisdom. In that same journal, as we entered into Ushuaia, on January 19th, I wrote, "It's hard not to be inspired by the sheer beauty of the world. I started 2017 with the question, what if? Opening my mind to the realm of possibilities. While the last couple of years I've done a lot of work on my inner self, I think more and more that my future questions will be about meaning. I've sensed it already, struggling to continue what I'm currently doing as an auditor, both at PwC as well as at the PCAOB. For now, I'm still willing to make the sacrifice for the sake of a lifestyle and a chance to live in New York City. But I can sense that the clock is ticking. In fact, it's been ticking for a while already." This brings me to today. The dreams are resurfacing. I am being transformed, and the countdown is up. Reading those words, I was reminded of what I have always known, albeit perhaps unconsciously. At my core, when I strip away the stories I write, and when I quiet the voices surrounding me, I can feel that my soul yearns for meaning and purpose. In the silence of Patagonia, I knew it, and at some level, I have always known it. But today, I'm no longer willing to make the sacrifice, and so begins a chapter about meaning. In our world of perpetual productivity and constant consumption, it is difficult to sit in silence. And yet, it is in those moments where wisdom is revealed. May we all be so bold as to silence the world around us and tune into our souls, listening to the deeper yearning within. A year later exactly, on January 19th, 2018, I wrote in that same journal, reflecting back on the trip. I missed the simplicity of life in Patagonia. The hardest decisions were, where do I get coffee today? And where am I going to hike? Such a simple life. But the dreams that filled my mind, perhaps I missed those most of all.